Hello.
Oh, it's Kevin.
Welcome.
to the
There
Retro
he
Movie
is.
Show. That's right. Welcome to Entertainment Headquarters, Retro Classic Movie Show. As always, when I do a live special, God and the fucking internet hates my guts. And because of that, it fucking logged me out as soon as I was about to hit the screen. Is it me face? Who knows? But joining us to talk about this next particular movie is my good friend and co-host and fellow comedian, DJ Anubis.
Oh, shit.
Yes. And joining us, of course, I do have two special guests who are fans of this particular movie. It is Mr. Gojira 851 and Mr. Sci-Fi Sentry.
What's up? What's up?
What is up?
Yes. So is it lagging on your end with me, or is it working? Because I haven't got a clue right now.
Well, you kind of disappeared for a second there, but now you're with us, so I'm just going to accept. I'm going to accept this as a gift, and I'm just going to keep on rolling. Hopefully, nothing else happens.
Yeah, I think there's just like a little bit of a delay on
me?
your end, but
can you hear us?
I can hear you fine.
I can hear you.
I can hear
you.
I
can hear you fine. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Cool. Just no one's responding. No one's talking. I'm thinking, is it me?
No, we can hear you. Yeah, you're good.
We're here, brother. We're here.
There must. It must be a bit of a lagging because.
Earth to Kevin.
Yeah.
Earth to Kevin.
Well, like I say, we'll just keep on rocking and rolling and going on with it. This is how we do shit on the Entertainment Headquarters.
Yeah.
So let's get cracking, as I always say, or let's not fucking freeze anymore, please. So we're here to talk about a very special film. And this film means a lot to me. It was, for me, there was a lot of fantasy films that came out in the 1980s, but there was the odd one that always stood out for the right reasons. And for me, this is one of those movies. So here we are, and we're here to talk about Legend. So, Mr. DJ Anubis, can you remember the first time you seen Legend?
Not necessarily. It was definitely long after the fact. At the time, I don't think one of the things about Tom Cruise is you see him as a certain type of actor. Then when it comes to fantasy, you're kind of like, I don't know if I really see him as that type of character. So I kind of held off because like this, when I remember hearing him doing Lestat for Interview with the Vampire again, I was like, I don't know if he can do that. So I don't think I really checked out Legend because of that fact that I knew that he was in a fantasy film. But eventually when I did watch it, it was okay. Didn't mind. It was kind of nice to go back and revisit it, although I have some serious questions about it in terms of some of the things they did in the film. But I'm sure we'll get to all of that.
Gojira 851. Can you remember your first time seeing Legend?
Oh yeah, I was a little kid when I first saw this. I've been watching this movie I've seen this movie so many times. With my brothers, just sitting on the deck up in Pennsylvania watching it. Here in Florida. I've seen both versions of this movie, all the different little scenes that they've had, the different endings that they have as well, and which we can talk about that. It's very subtle differences, way how they portray Tim Curry's character, which we'll get into that. But I think this is a great story and a great film. And yeah, Anubis is right. This isn't really what you would really think of for Tom Cruise, especially when you think of all like the other action films that he's in, like a Top Gun or Last Samurai, stuff like that. But yeah, this is a very very humble beginning for him. I think this is one of his first roles. Actually, I'm not going to say it's his first role. I'm not going to know his entire filmography. I don't. But I think this is one of his first roles. And yeah, I don't want to say it's one of my first memories as well. But yeah, I remember watching this for a long time. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sci-fi.
Crazy that I do have. You guys know I have an older sister, and she was obsessed with Tom Cruise back in the late '80s, and that's when what's up, Jake? That's when I saw it when I was about, I think, not too far away from when my first Godzilla film, but I think I saw it when I was like 6 or 7, and the reason why I remembered it was because Tim Curry's Darkness scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. And
Yes.
that's how I remember it. Like I remember seeing some of the parts, and I remember even seeing back in the days when HBO had those pretty crazy like what do you call it, like trailers for them. They had the trailers for the movies and stuff before. They have a trailer before the movie starts and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Tim Curry, Tom Cruise, Mia Sara, legend. I'm like, okay. So I saw it when I was about 6 or 7, and yeah, I saw it because my sister was connected to it. Yes, right there, like that. That I can remember since I was a kid. Mia Sara, I had such the biggest crush on her. But yeah, that's when I first saw it, and I was like, wow, this is. I didn't recognize Tom
Yeah.
Cruise that early until like later when I got a little older. That's when I said okay, it's Tom Cruise. So now I know why my sister loved the movie. But yeah, we saw this plenty of nights where they will come on HBO, eating pizza, and enjoying it and stuff like that back in the late '80s. So
Another beautiful lady in this movie.
oh yeah, Una.
Una, that's right. I'm going to put this back on the screen because I always remember my first time viewing this, and it's like the very first, story I've told a few times is we had a video store called Zodiac Videos, and what I seen the video cover for this particular film, and I begged my parents to allow us to rent it. And I always remember renting this out and watching it. And I loved the first half, even though it was like dark and gothic and dark fantasy. But I suddenly turned away out of fright and actually regretted it for a long time because it frightened the hell out of us. The first time you were introduced to darkness.
Yeah.
Because darkness... Tim Curry in this film is absolutely epic.
Something troubles me.
He looks amazing. Like, we've seen him in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. We've seen him as It. We've seen him do so many amazing roles. But when I seen him as Darkness, it absolutely made me shit my pants as a kid. He looks absolutely phenomenal. The work and the effort that they put into this for all of the props and for all of the, the great scenery and all of that, it's just outstanding. One of the best for me for value for money in terms of production for its time.
Yeah, can I show this, Kevin? Real quick.
Yes. Yes,
This
amazing.
is the VHS.
Yes, amazing.
Yeah,
That film.
and I'm pretty sure you guys have this. I don't know if you have it, but
what's that? Is that the box set?
It's actually the it's the one. It's the plastic that has it's like a see-through. and it has that right
Oh,
there. And it's
oh,
like I don't
that's
remember where I
amazing.
bought it from, but yeah, it has both. It has both. Why the hell did it break? It has both versions and everything, and I have the Blu-ray too. The Blu-ray's right here. I got the Blu-ray. I haven't even opened it yet because I already have it on digital. So, but yeah,
Yes.
I just yeah, it's the DVD I bought years ago, I think on Amazon. But this one I hear is it's not. It's kind of rare that it has the see-through and glass and everything like that.
Well,
But
they're collector's item, so keep that tight to your
yeah,
chest. Uh,
oh yeah,
so
definitely.
yes, so that was my first time. So let's get cracking and talk about Legend. So the story goes. A young man must stop the Lord of Darkness from destroying daylight and marrying the woman he loves. This film was directed by Ridley Scott, written by William Hedgehogsberg. Obviously, we know the stars: Tom Cruise, Maya Sara, and of course, Tim Curry. And there's obviously a host of other amazing stars in this film. So, where would you like to get started? Right from the beginning? Who would like to start? Do you want me to start, or would you like to start the movie off? There we go, Mr. Sci-Fi Sentry has volunteered, so let's get cracking.
Yeah. So another thing too is everybody knows this is one of my favorite films, fantasy films of all time. So we go to the intro, which is a long, huge. I love the music to where
Mm-hmm.
Tangerine Dream, like where you like Anubis or Gojira had pointed out. There's two different versions, so the music is totally different on a separate version. But I will go ahead.
Real
Go ahead,
quick
Anubis.
with Gojira. So you've seen the other version, right?
Yes.
How is Jerry Goldsmith's soundtrack? Do you like it, or did you like Tangerine Dream better?
I like Tangerine Dream better.
I was just curious. I do like
Yeah.
Jerry Goldsmith, but I have never seen the other version, so I was just curious. Go ahead, Sci-Fi.
Either
Sorry.
have I. I'll
Yep.
be honest, I did not even know there was another version.
Yes. Can
Yeah.
I just say real quick? It
Yeah.
plays
Mhm.
the movie more subtle. Like they play darkness more like the shark from Jaws, pretty much, or like Dr. Claw. Like he's kept in shadow, and all you see is his arm for the most part. Like we're in one version, like you see him in shadow, and they actually paint him in fluorescent lighting, and you actually see him, but you don't fully see him. And you see you see Tim Curry acting, and you see him speaking all of his lines. For this other version, you just see his arm, or he's speaking to Blix, the goblin, speaking of his plan, and then he's just kept in shadow, and you like, okay, you don't know what he actually is, and then you get the big reveal later in the film where we get to see him completely, and then other scenes play out kind of differently, but not exactly, and the music's a little different, the ending's a little different, but it's not completely the complete different thing of it, but it's just done different enough, so a different cut was made. So yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. That's good. No. Yeah.
Mhm.
I go with the Tangerine Dream because I'll be honest. Before I get to the beginning of it, I saw like maybe first 15, 20 minutes of the other cut. What was the name of it? What was the name of the guy who did that musical
Jerry
score
Jerry
on that
Goldsmith.
one?
Goldsmith. Jerry Goldsmith.
Yeah, that was too whimsical for me. It was
Yeah,
like it didn't fit me because I'm so used to Tangerine Dream's version.
that's right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So starting off, we have the big introduction with the huge like introduction,
Well,
just like anything, like with a back then when movies were badass and made freaking great. They have the story, they have the storytelling out about Jack and Lily, and then we have darkness, and then it
Mhm.
just gives a detailed, really quick synopsis on what's going on and how he wants to destroy light. Light is his main enemy, and then we get to the part where um it's like It's the entry to the forest where you start out with a bear and you start getting the credits, and it's looking deeper into how it does work in the forest, and you show the animals, you show birds, they show like light frost, like winter's coming or something, and then we go into that part where we see darkness, like he's shrouded, just like Gojira said. He's in his throne chair. His nails and eyes are just like neon green while glowing in the background. Great cinematography, great special effects, like practical. And then he starts with Mother Night. Fold your dark arms above me. Protect me in your black embrace. I sit alone, an impotent exile. Was this force, this presence, returns to torment me? And then, it's like I love this film. You can see how much I love this film. But yeah, I still ain't gonna sing. I still ain't gonna sing Tangerine Dream though. What do you call it?
Sing that shit.
Yeah, like
sing it.
Hey, you brought it up. Okay, I was gonna let it go. You brought it up. Okay, come on. Hey,
maybe later.
Okay.
When we get further towards the end.
Okay.
No, but it's like no, yeah, it's the great intro to darkness, and then he gets a knock on the door, and then that's when Blix, the darkest and most evil of his goblins, and gives that explanation to why there's only why there's so much light, and why the sun rises is because there's two magnificent animals that roam the earth that are the last of their kind, and that's the two unicorns, the male and the female, the mare and the stallion. And so darkness gives his reason on why you need to
Can I just say something? It took me. I didn't realize for many, many years after I had watched this a few times that Blix, the leader of the darkness of Goblin, was played by Alice Playton, who was a female. I did not realize for many years. I just assumed it was a male actor. So that was something that shocked me, that I was amazed by. But it just shows you learn things new every day. In Playton, in addition was uncredited. It was uncredited apparently in the contribution, providing the voice of Grump as well, because an executive thought that Bennett's voice sounded too German. So
I'll tell you this.
okay.
There's a couple things I need to point out that's very interesting about this film, just off the bat. So one, I had forgotten that the unicorns, the sound of them playing was the sound of humpback whales.
Yes.
So I'm sitting there going,
yeah,
that's whales. Yeah. What do we got whales playing for? And then I don't know, I have no idea if this was an influence or not, but isn't it weird that we have a forest elf named Gump? Gump. Okay.
Oh yeah.
They might pick up on that shit like that. I was like, wait a minute, forest elf and then Gump. And then of course Jack, played by Tom Cruise, he looks almost like Peter Pan. He's all in green, kind of like hunches over a little bit. So it's a very weird thing that Ridley Scott did with this film in terms of what he was trying to use. I don't know if they're influences or were influences outside of it, but I picked up on those. That's pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, so Jack's a forest child and Lily's the princess.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, and I wanted to say, I wanted to ask before I continue, and then I'll pass it to the next person. You said that the same girl that played Blix was the voiceover for Gump?
Yep, but she was uncredited because the executive of the studio thought she sounded German, which is bullshit.
Oh, so Gump did not use his original voice. Okay, but that's why I was like, okay.
Yeah, she voiced
I was
Gump.
like, okay, so I was okay, and then Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, to me, I'll just say before I start, Gump looked like he's like a kid. He's a kid.
Yeah.
But then again, I didn't think, was he also a small person? Was he a dwarf, or was he like maybe
Gump,
half? I don't know. But I think he was just.
I think Gump was a well-known actor. I'm sure he's been in lots of things, in different genres. I think he's been in other fantasy element productions as well.
Okay. Oh, I just wanted to ask, but yeah, continuing. Let's get cracking on, like Kevin says. Yeah. So we Blix gets all the information he needs, and then he asks, "Oh, what be this bait that we use?" It's like innocence is the best bait.
But
Go ahead, Gojira. Go ahead.
innocence.
Innocence.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah,
Okay.
I had to. I'm sorry.
Great stuff, man. Great
Thank you.
stuff.
Guys all nerded
yeah.
out.
So yeah, and then we go to back to the forest, and this is where we have the introduction to seeing beautiful. And I gotta say, that was not a real forest. That was actually inside of a building.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that was like I said, when sets were made with passion and hard work.
Yeah.
And that's what you get. That's what you get with hardworking people who love their craft. And then we get to the part where this is a beautiful young girl frolicking in the high grass and going to a little cottage, a tree cottage or something. And she's conniving. She's innocent. She's pure innocence. She's got that playful. Side about her that
she's
look,
mischievous.
she's taking. Yeah, exactly, mischievous. Like a lot of us were when we were kids. When we had innocence. But it's like so she bumps into, I think her name was Nell. Yeah, I think it was Nell. I think she's a dwarf, or I think she's or I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but she's kind of
she's like a fairy, Nell.
No,
No,
yeah.
Una.
Nell that's
Una.
Una. Yeah, Nell. That Nell is the girl. I think she's a mother. She has a family, whatever. And Lily's is I always wanted to confirm that they consider Lily a princess, or she's royalty.
No, she's right. She's a princess, yes. In the lady who she talks to in like the kitchen of the house, she must be like one of the servants or like the dinner. The cook or the member of staff for the family.
Yeah, they don't stay at the palace or castle that she's at, so she hangs out with this family because it's prettier out in the forest, and of course she knows Jack, so she's become attached to everything except for her duties as a princess. She wants to be anything but, it seems like.
Yeah. And then she's, she says, like, even Nell tells her, like, you're of royalty, you're always welcome here, but you're of royalty, like you should be out there in the palace and mingling and wearing beautiful dresses and being attended to by thousands of servants and stuff like that. But she says no. She says she said that, here's another good saying in the movie. She tells Nell in her small little house, she says, this place holds more magic for me than any palace in the world. So you can tell that she likes that. She doesn't like the bureaucracy side of being royalty, that she wants to stay away from all that because she's young, she's naive, she's mischievous, she's innocent, so she doesn't want to, she's too young to understand any of that. But like, that was another good part that I related to, because in my upbringing, we weren't, my family struggled like a lot. So that when I got older and I saw it, like, that made me appreciate Lily's character even more, that she rather be with the servants hanging out and then being in the courts and in the in the bureaucracy side of it. But yeah, that's it. You can pass it to the next one, whoever wants to take it next.
I can go on unless Matt wants us to talk.
Okay, yeah, I can talk for a little bit. Just to go on a couple of things. I love the character Blix. Always speaking in rhyme. Always has like I always found that fun. Black is midnight, black is pitch, black is the darkest witch. You know, it just always speaking in a rhyme every time she speaks. I'm sorry, just awesome character throughout the entire film. It's said that the character Darkness actually inspired the Barons of Hell in Doom as well. It's funny, Anthony Jordan brought up earlier that the film actually reminds him of Zelda. I just looked it up, and this film actually came out before Legend of Zelda on the NES. Now, I know video games go into production, before, their actual release date. I know, but still, it's kind of interesting that this came out before Legend of Zelda, but, there's wiggle room for that. All right, so anyway. After that, Lily gets done with the cottage, and then she goes out into the forest, and she's kind of like a Snow White of her own, and all the animals love her, and she's actually in love with the character Jack, played by Tom Cruise, which Jedi Granville actually brought up. Tom Cruise's first role was a bit part in Endless Love. Thank you, Jedi, for telling me that. Thank you very much, and telling the chat. Thank you very much. Okay.
Word up, Jake.
And the two love each other. Okay, and they're out in the woods, and they're just making goo eyes, doing all like the lovey stuff. And Jack wants to give her a ring, and it's kind of fun, kind of not. And then he wants to show her the unicorns, even though he knows he shouldn't. He knows deep down he shouldn't, but he loved her. He wants to show her the unicorns. He wants to show her, but he says, don't touch them.
Yes.
She's like, oh, okay, I won't. What's the first thing she does? Oh, yeah, go ahead, Sentry.
I just want to add one thing before you continue, man, and it's good. It's really good. I have to say the introduction to the unicorns is like it man. I mean, if you want, it doesn't get more. Yeah, it doesn't get more fantasy and more beautiful or more fairy dust, fairy tale stuff than that. That it's when I was a kid, I would watch that scene over and over because I just loved the music of Tangerine Dream with the sound of the humpback whales, and that's the way the unicorns communicate. And like that's like wow, like I just had to say that, man. But that's what were you gonna say, Kevin? I'm sorry.
No, it's like when I first seen it, it's like my perfect vision of heaven, like just walking through like a dark area, and as you come through the light, you just see like this forestry greenness and these beautiful animals just all around. It felt like my perfect vision of entering heaven.
It's like how the trees were set up as well. It's like almost like a gate that they came through as well. How the leaves were on the ground as well. It's like it was picture perfect the way how those unicorns came. It's like two angels were just showing up out of nowhere. It was chef's kiss the way how that was set up. It was just beautiful.
I agree, man. It's just beautiful. Okay, now continue, man. I'm sorry. I just had to throw that out there.
So Lily can't help, even though she's pure of heart and she does have innocence, she can't help herself. She wants to touch the unicorns. Now, as a human being, who wouldn't want to touch these fantastic creatures? So she goes over to touch them. They don't know that they're being trailed by Blix and her little crew. And as she goes over and she touches the one unicorn, and Jack is flipping out. He won't stop. He won't go over to stop her. He has respect and restraint. He won't go over. He won't dare go anywhere near the unicorns. But she is, and he's standing there watching, and he sees he puts her hand on the nose of one. I can't remember if it's the male or the female. Is it the male or the female?
Male. It's the male.
It's the male.
It's the male.
Okay, so he puts his
because what happens next, we know, and then the one that is left, Darkness wants because she can reproduce.
Okay, so she puts her hand on the nose of on the male, and then Jack is so upset by that, he turns around and walks away. That's how fed up he is. But as she puts her hand on the nose, it feels so great, and it feels like so innocent. Blick shoots the male in the butt with a dart to help bring it down. Like unfortunately how animals are hunted in real life. But she doesn't see it, and she's like, "Oh, she just scared it off. Okay, it's innocent." Blah blah blah. And then it's almost like Jack becomes almost like a wind talker at this point. He actually starts speaking against the wind and acts like, "Do you know what you've done? You've upset this and that." And it's like starts like really berating her and everything. And she just plays it off like, "Oh, it's innocent. I didn't really do anything. And he decides to just like play it off. Okay, fine, nothing really happened. They don't know that the unicorn has been attacked. And then Blix then removes the horn of the male unicorn. And that's when shit hits the fan. The weather starts to get all screwed up. That's when almost like Fimbulwinter hits the area. Everything starts to freeze over. Mm-hmm. The ring drops into the ring he wants to present her from earlier drops into a pond. We'll get to that later. And then just endless winds, snow, and everything. They get separated. He calls out to her. She calls out to him. She can't find the helper from earlier. She goes back to the cottage, and just all this craziness happens. And anyone else want to take it now? And we keep going.
It's I can take over unless you want to keep going. I'm easy.
Yeah, you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know you're easy, Kevin. Ooh, damn right, boy.
So Blitz. So the unicorn's been killed. Blitz now takes the horn.
Is it killed or just in animation? Suspended animation.
Suspended animation.
Yeah, it's not killed. It's not killed. It's just I'll just say that horn. Darkness fears it so much that horn is nearly nigh indestructible. In the movie, I'll just say this: the unicorns are near indestructible because if they're paying attention to their surroundings, they know what's going on. Nothing can harm them. Like nothing can really harm them. But since the male was distracted, that's where Blix, took the advantage and took advantage of that and hit the poison stinger, hit the stallion with the poison stinger. But yeah, that horn, man, has more power in it than anybody knows, and that's what Darkness is so afraid of. I'll say sorry about that, Kevin. Go ahead.
So obviously, like you said, Lily doesn't take it too serious. That just touched the unicorn. Obviously, Jack, he's a person of the forest. He's a forest child, so he kind of knows the rules in all of that, to obey, guess, nature, and to respect nature, respect the rules of the forest. And so, like you say, he walks off. The poor unicorn, the male, has been hit with the poison dart. As it runs off, she kind of is left on her own. And then, of course, like you mentioned, the goblins come across the poor unicorn and cut off its horn. And then it's there. Once that happens, Lily, the atmosphere begins to slowly change all around her. It starts getting darker. There's a wind. It basically goes from light to night within a matter of seconds. And you see how all the atmosphere and all of the change of the colours and the atmosphere in the forest completely changes and overturns itself. You even see that little house where she visited that family, how all the doors, because of the wind, starts blowing in and out. And you see, like, it's like being frozen in time. And there's a load of ice or and she's now suddenly overcome with like emotion of what's going on. She kind of runs away and runs around the forest. So she comes across the house and sees everything happening. And then at the same time, you go back to the goblins, who've now set up this lovely little stone fire. And they now have the horn of the unicorn. And like you say, Blix he's like talking in riddles about having the power and all of this with the horn, and yeah.
Kevin, higher, higher, burning fire, making music like a choir.
So they're joking on around this fire when then all of a sudden, as they're, celebrating the death of this, what they assume was the death of the unicorn, there's like, which is the name of the goblin that takes the horn out of his hand?
Oh, there's one called Blunder.
So Blunder,
Blunder
is he the one with the big helmet on?
Yeah.
So Blunder grabs it and he starts joking about we're going to take over and all this without knowing darkness is behind him.
Yeah.
Darkness suddenly appears and arrives. And he's basically pointing the horn at him going, we're in charge now. And darkness basically goes... takes the horn out.
Kevin, Chicken's eyes like, stand, hear me, you angel of darkness. Your reign is over. A new order begins. I hold the power enough. And he zaps it out of his hand and he grabs it. And he's like, shit. And that's when he gets taken by the mummy and he gets dumped down the. He gets dumped
sounds
down.
A lot like that sounds like something that Little Wolf would try to pull with me, and then I have to put him in his place back in the dungeon.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Kevin. It's because man, like I love this movie so much, man, that I know it like the back of my head. But go ahead, Kevin. I didn't mean to take that. I wanted to say that, man.
The name of that goblin was Blunder. So Blunder unsuccessfully tries to use the horn to overthrow Darkness. Darkness obviously uses the powers that he has to, to animate the corpse from the ground, which then picks up Blunder and takes him to the well, and they both drop down into the castle dungeon. Meanwhile, Jack, he comes across a local forest elf, Honeythorn Gump. I'm trying to make sure I get the names right this time, because you need to be on the ball this time. So
Ebera's cousin.
Honeythorn.
Let's not do Ebera's cousin.
Oh fuck it, Ebera's cousin. Ebera's cousin.
Yeah, there we go.
So there we go. And he's got a unique voice. Now he is actually a singer in a band away from his acting career, apparently. I don't know the name of his band. Do you know the name of the band? I heard of them, Matt.
Are you talking about Gump?
Yep.
Not sure. Hang on, I'll tell you one sec.
Yeah, I'm trying to look.
I didn't even know he did.
Of a band.
I didn't even know he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't see any mention of a band. Are we sure we have the right person?
Yes, the who plays Gump. It's definitely
Gump. It's David Bennett, but it shows him just in some
movies. David Bennett band.
He's a Swiss actor.
Yeah, unless I read it wrong, I thought he was a part of a band. I must have.
Shows him on stage doing something. The David Bennett Quartet says he's in a quartet. Wait. Is that right?
Oh. Yeah, he was born in Neuss, Switzerland.
His
parents are German actor.
No, that can't be
right.
His
parents are German actors. His parents are German actors,
no,
Heinz
right.
Bennett and a French, and his mother was a Diane Mansart, and his sister is Annette Bennett. So,
oh wow!
Oh
yeah, Annette Bennett is his.
Oh, says
I didn't know that.
He's on Spotify, Music for Everyone. David Bent, the song See You Again came out 8/9/06. The Longest March, March 27th, 9/08.
So he is involved in music in some way, shape, or form. I knew I had read something about him doing some sort of music, but anyway.
Wait a second. Wait. It's redirecting me to another guy, the same spelling, but this is clearly not him. This is like a dude younger than me. This can't be. No, this isn't him. It's the same spelling. It's just no. This is somebody else.
It's funny though.
Yeah, it doesn't say on
the guy that plays Blunder,
though.
The guy that plays Blunder, he's been in a lot of stuff. Like he's been in Raiders of the Lost Ark, Dark Crystal, Gothic. He was even in Rogue One. He's done a lot of different stuff, so that's kind of cool. I recognize him as an actor, but with all the makeup half the time, I would never know it's him.
It's weird.
But
I am weird.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
back to the movie.
Yeah. So
you have to really look down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, I must have done. I just remember when I was researching some of the actors, I just to come across he was meant to be in a band, but like you see, I probably typed his name in and come across this other guy who is in a band. But anyway, Jack, accompanied by the forest elf Honeythorn Gump, the Will-o'-the-Wisp, Una and the dwarfs Brown Tom and Screwball find the mare mourning the lifeless stallion. Now, I remember seeing that particular scene when I was a kid, and it broke my heart. When you see like just the frozen forest with all the snow leaves, and you see that poor unicorn just lifeless, and the mare around it, just heartbreaking. Can you remember that time you first seen that sci-fi?
Sci-fi is probably
dude, like, yeah, dude, like, just the music that they use that adds just that much more sorrow and grief, and you know, Jack literally crying, and he gets on his knees and just literally tells the mayor that he meant no wrong, we meant no wrong, and the mayor, I guess you could say the mayor kind of forgave him, but it's emotional, it's beautiful, it's mesmerizing, and it shows that sorrow of even how animals, even spiritual and mystic animals, feel remorse. They mourn, they grieve. And yeah, dude, the music, bro. The music, man, and I am not really an emotional person, man, but when I watch that shit, I'm like, okay, that's some serious emotional, like that emotion from that scene just grabs you. So I'll say that that's I'll keep it like that. But that's a great heart.
Any film where I see like an animal being, you know, tortured or abused, I'm instantly infuriated. Like earlier today, me and the Fat Samurai guy, we did a review of the samurai films, The Blind Swordsman. In the second one, the first 10 minutes, there's like a bit of a massacre goes on with this family, and this child's orphan, but the child has a dog. And all I'm going to say, it's going to irritate you and anger you. If you ever watch them two films, what happens to the poor freaking dog? I was absolutely furious. But the great thing is, it makes you hate the bad guys more, and you want to go after them more.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
I was gonna say, Gojira, you were gonna say something, man? You wanted to say something?
The scene where he meets Gump for the first time before they see the unicorns, I love their back and forth, because Gump is like a nice and happy and everything to meet Jack, and he's all jovial, but then he finds out why everything's happening, and then he finds out, touch them,
it's like a switch. It's like a switch.
Yeah, he snaps on him. It's like, oh my goodness, like, we meant no wrong. It's like, why would you let her touch them? And then we did it for love. Oh, love. Oh, why did you say something? Why'd you say so? It's like it's a fun little back and forth, and just like that, it then snapped over right back. It just shows the range of going back and forth. And then, like you guys were saying, when he goes over and sees the stallion in the suspended animation, and then you see the other unicorn come over, it's just such an underrated film, underrated scene, just excellent. All of it.
You don't get films like this anymore. It's all heartless, empty shit. Where, like you said, back in the day, real sets, the closest thing I would say to having the proper thing, like these kind of movies, like modern versions, is the Lord of the Rings trilogy and The Hobbit. The Hobbit obviously used a little bit more CGI, where the Lord of the Rings used a hell of a lot more practical, like miniatures and models and great visual effects is on top of all the practical, like goblin suits and masks and all that. So it does have me slightly worried for the search for Gollum, how they're going to do that. Is it going to be more CGI heavy? I would like to think they're going to continue doing what they did with The Hobbit, where it's a mixture of CGI and suitmation and miniatures and special.
Yeah, I've got to find a way to watch the American version of this for a number of reasons. Because one, I need to hear the score from Tangerine Dream to see how it differs from Goldsmith. Because the one that I watched and Anthony watched was the director's cut, which is different with the ending, which. The American version has a different ending, which I think is more suitable for what would make me happy. So everything that negative I'm going to be shooting at this film is because I've watched the director's cut, which is terrible by standards. But the other thing is Ridley Scott had considered making this a dark horror film. So even the cut that I saw has a little bit of evidence of that. But if you guys watch the American version, or even the UK version, then that's a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more of an action thriller. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of interesting because I need to see the other version.
Tim Curry's darkness is horror. If you look at him, how he looks.
But I mean, just hold on. I was just gonna say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, but you. Okay, so I'm a little confused. So you have not seen the Tangerine Dream version?
No.
What, dude? you are. Oh my god, dude! Like this is Dog Soldiers all over again. This is Dog Soldiers all over again, dude. I swear to God, like you have not. Dude, you are. Even ask Kevin, bro. Kevin, what is he missing, dude? What is he missing that he has not seen the Tangerine Dream?
It is very different to this version, but I like Gold. I'm not gonna lie, I still like Goldsmith's music, though. I do like his music in this as well.
No, it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying anything bad on the other soundtrack. Yeah, no. But this Tangerine Dream, dude, made that film. Like the music just made the film. Everybody can agree.
Because Tangerine Dream, shares a lot of similarities to Goblin, and so I love Goblin, and so I want to be able to hear what you guys are hearing because you're much higher on the Tangerine Dream version than the other one. So, and as you said, music is a huge driving force for movies, and so if I listen to Blade Runner or 2049, like that soundtrack drives that fucking movie. So if it's a vast difference between how it's presented, not just with like horror versus action thriller versus the soundtrack, like I need to be able to hear that. So that's unfortunate that I've seen the one that's probably not the best version.
Oh, okay. No, I was just, like I say, I'm just busting your balls. But no, go ahead, Kevin. I didn't mean to interrupt that. I was just a little like flabbergasted.
Yeah, so obviously they come across the two unicorns, and then Jack like communicates with the mayor, and he's absolutely pleading his heart that he wants forgiveness for he believes he's the cause of this tragedy with the unicorns, with the allowing the goblins to do what they've done for in the name of darkness. So what ends up happening is that the unicorn says, if you want to correct the wrongs, then you need to get the horn back. And you need to be able to, the only way to do this is we need a hero, and you're the hero. Or, given the role of the hero. So they basically set out on a quest. Him and a handful of the people, the dwarfs and Gump and Una decide to go on a quest to find this armor and the giant shield that's made of solid gold and all of those. They go off looking for that, but at the same time they leave, I think it's Screwball and Brown Tom to defend the mayor, or to defend of course, the remaining unicorn. But obviously darkness, due to the events of what happened, sends the goblins after the final unicorn, which happens to be the mayor. And you have that, I always was freaked out by that scene where the two dwarfs are trying to protect the damn mayor, and he's trying to fight them off, and it's just no good. They're just a load of shit. Lily, of course, overheard the dwarfs and tells the dwarfs that the goblins are coming. And the next thing you know, the mayor and Lily are captured. And of course, the dwarfs are basically freaking useless at this point. And obviously, because the mayor and Lily's being captured, they're then taken to Darkness's castle. Which his castle, for me, is like the perfect dark fantasy castle. The giant fireplace, the giant dark hallways, the creepy dungeon with them horrible goblin-like soldiers. It's like just the perfect fantasy world for me, because I love dark fantasy. You can keep your Harry Potter bullshit. I don't like Harry Potter. I've never been a Harry Potter fan. I've always been into this kind of stuff. Don't you dare tell me, Anubis, you're a fan of Harry Potter.
I am. Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
You're fucking British. You don't even like Harry Potter, and you're British. What's wrong with you?
I'm British. Yeah.
I just like the first one. I just like the first one, and I like that part where the in one of the movies the tear of the phoenix heals someone or something like that. So
that's the second one.
I just like the first one, but I didn't get I'm not much into Harry Potter either.
Mm-hmm. Well, since you love this movie so much, my friend, I'll let you continue, Sci-Fi.
Oh, let me talk about Darkness. Okay. Oh, I want to do this part.
Let me.
Well, okay. Yeah. I'll split it. I'll split it with you. Gojira. I just want to add to what Kevin was saying about the great tree. It's actually a huge, massive tree when they get there, and we can't forget about Tom Cruise, Jack's character, having his first kill when not first kill, but his first actual battle with the swamp witch. With the swamp witch. Yep. The swamp. There you go. Yeah, the swamp. There you go. Meg, I think her name was Meg. Yeah.
Meg Megglebones.
Yeah, and
it is.
There's such beauty.
Meg Grucklebones.
Here, look at your beauty.
Yeah, it's like she's like
Mucklebones.
He's like sour tasting fairy, and yeah, you're right, Kevin. Browntown and Screwball were some parts of them, they were very useful, but the majority of the time they were just useless. But the great tree looks the background looks good, gothic, dark gothic, gothic style. And then we go into like I said, we head into the great tree as everybody's looking. Gump and them, they get through Meg, and then they slip through. I don't know if it's Screwball. Yeah, there you go. It has to be Screwball that always has to freaking mess everything up, and he pulls on some kind of thing or leather or whatever.
Now,
and
I'm not
don't worry,
funny.
don't worry, Gojira. Go ahead.
If that didn't turn you gay, then there's no hope, because that would do it. If you got told you had to kiss that thing, I would just say, no, I'm gay, and just fucking eat his, kill his, just eat his now.
Yeah, but what is it? Was it a woman? Was it a woman or was it a guy portraying him?
It's supposed to be a female.
Yeah, it's a woman. Yeah,
but it's a guy. But was it a guy? It wasn't a man playing there.
Yes, Robert Picardo.
There you go. There you go. Like I could have just imagined if that was actually a real woman. Imagine under all that makeup, she was actually beautiful. No. Now they're going in. They fall in through this little thing. They fall in through this little trap door or whatever. And then we already know what happens with the trap door. What?
Oh, that's crazy, dude. Okay, so yeah, your dude that plays Meg, okay? He plays Eddie Quist in The Howling. He plays Eddie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, there you go.
That's crazy.
Okay,
he's in a lot of movies too.
Yeah, so they fall through this other drainage that leads into, I think, a prison. Sorry, it falls into a prison, and that's where I'll leave it off, and then I'll pass it to Gojira, and that way Gojira can go into when he wants to talk about darkness.
Cool.
Okay. So this entire scene, freaked me out as a kid because all that fire and stuff, and he just that entire scene just had to be completely uncomfortable for everyone on set because the fire is practical on set and just insane. So the one guy in the armor from earlier that was taken down by the mummy was actually a friend of the other dwarf that was a part of Jack's team. And he actually, decides to join his crew and help out. But then come to find out, what's her name? Luna? Yeah, actually, Una actually has a crush on Jack this entire time. Even though Jack is on a quest to actually save Lily, Una actually has a crush on Jack, which is actually kind of funny that this happens in fantasy films. This actually happened in the film Hook as well with Tinkerbell and Peter Pan. And she wants a kiss, and I think she kisses him in this as well. But it's kind of funny that this happens. They break free and they defeat the guard, who's the demon cook, who was actually in the background actually cutting up a guy, which for a fantasy film, that aimed at kids, back then, it's like, holy shit, the dude's getting cut up. So they break free and they start to move on. They want to, save Lily. And then we move on to Darkness's lair. Okay.
Oh.
I don't know why I'm so happy to talk about this. This is weird. Okay, I don't know why. But anyway.
That's why I give you the floor, because I can see the love in your eyes. I can see the glee in your eyes.
Yeah, they're fucking nerding out hard, man.
Okay.
I've never seen this excited.
Okay, so Darkness, like all others, wants a wife. Okay. But apparently he doesn't know how to talk to girls for some reason. Even though
she did look badass though in that goth getup.
Dude, we're getting there. We're getting there. Zip it.
Zip.
Yeah. Lock it and then put it in your pocket or something. Some shit like that. Whatever. So he's actually talking to his father. Which, okay, he talks to his mother at the beginning of the film. We don't hear her voice, but then he actually speaks to his father, which actually reciprocates with an answer. So it's like there's a being more powerful than Darkness. It's like, oh shit, who the hell's this guy? But anyway, we never meet. And then he's like, how do I? And he's like, you must woo her. Woo. It's like, okay. So she wakes up in Darkness's lair, and there's a bunch of food and everything laid out for her. And she starts to dance with this dress with no face,
Ooh.
which this very, symphonic music starts playing. And she starts to dance with this dress. And she's actually a really good dancer with this. And as we were talking earlier, she's a part of the royal family. And so you think in the royal family, part of being, royalty, there's a lot of balls and galas and stuff like that. So she's actually, dancing very well with this dress. Soon she becomes one with the dress, and she gets a huge gothic makeover, which was my first introduction to the whole goth, look as a kid. I'm like, I like this. I like this. I was like maybe like
Daddy.
I was like 3 at the time, maybe when I saw this. I'm like, I like this. Over this place. So she's dancing then by herself. Yes. So she's then dancing by herself, but she's in front of a mirror this whole time. The music starts to slow down, and then we have this ominous music start to play. And this is one of the characters that made me love villains as a child to this day. As darkness starts to step through the glass, almost from a different dimension, almost looking at her. Now, we see him in this dimension of our world, but he's existing in this other dimension. That's the thing about darkness in this. He exists everywhere and nowhere in a way. And it's like, he's badass. He's written to be awesome. And, oh, yeah, there she is.
Ooh, wow.
What was I saying? Anyway, so
Put it back in your pants.
So he's written, so he starts to step through the glass. Not break, but like another dimension. Okay. Steps through, and then his hands start to come through. Now that's the thing about the UK cut, the director's cut. You don't see him in that version. You just see his arm. So everything is shrouded in mystery. Like, what is he? Okay. If you know the Christian depiction of the devil, Satan, stuff like that, you have an idea. Plus, he's on the freaking cover of the movie, so yeah, you know what he looks like. But back then, you don't know what he is. But in here, you don't know. And then all of a sudden, he fully steps through. His face fully comes through. Massive horns. Everybody keeps on calling him Big Horn Legend Guy. It's like, it's Darkness. They named him Darkness. Call him Darkness. Is what he is. And he steps through, and finally she sees him for what he is. And she sees, he's like, oh shit. And she immediately just faints when she sees him, as he just stares a step forward, and she's looking she's on the ground, he's just like staring at her. He hasn't spoken a word yet to her. Now, we've heard him earlier film. It's voiced by the great Tim Curry under lots and lots of makeup. And it's a labor of love. He has gone through so much in life as an artist for us, and that man deserves all the flowers that you can possibly give him. To this day, love the guy. Tim Curry is amazing. Even in films where he doesn't wear a single prosthetic, a single dab of makeup at all, Tim Curry is amazing. Love that man.
He's a great, talented, versatile actor.
Yeah.
He's definitely inspired a lot of actors. Like currently, right now, I would say the closest actor to him would be Bill Skarsgård, who obviously, did a different version of Pennywise in It. But then look at what he did in Nosferatu, completely unrecognizable. And he's he's done a lot of horror and gothic stuff, but he's kind of branching out and doing more mainstream serious stuff, like me and Anubis have said. We're like him in Boys Kill World. He also did he was in a show that was inspired by Stephen King, which was what I think was called Castle something, where he was in that show. So he's definitely, and Tim Curry has definitely been a huge influence in a lot of these future upcoming horror actors.
Also a fantastic singer as well. Okay, please go ahead.
I was gonna ask. I kind of actually know what he. I mean, I'll still want to give it to Gojira. I want to give it to Anubis too. But I just want to say what he says to her when she wakes up, when he looks down on her, when he actually tries to look. It looks like he tries to kiss her, but when she gets up and she freaks out and she goes against the wall, he says, I memorized these words, and he says, quiet. How like you my gifts? Does the gown not please you? And she's like, no. He's like, do you think so of your bridal gown? I have found my true mate, and you know it. Beneath the skin, we are already one. Like, it's like, dude, like, I mean, look at Gojira's face.
Never. You are an animal. We are all animals, lady.
Yep. There you go. Now, okay, let's pass it.
And deep inside, it germinates in you.
Yep,
okay,
and it's like
I'm just gonna say, the unicorn dies tonight as her blood ebbs. The sun sets forever. There shall never be another dawn. Like, oh man, I'm just getting excited just thinking about it, man. Look at Anubis is like, oh shit, but okay. Hey, sorry, man, Anubis, you take it away, bro. We're not even letting Anubis talk.
Don't let me stop you two. You go ahead. One of you guys keep going. I'm enjoying this.
I'm loving this.
Yeah.
This is my destroyer.
Yes, you two carry on. You are doing a fantastic job.
No, man. I'll just say, like, when they're chatting, they're talking, and he tells her, like,
in fact, you're doing such a good job. I think we'll have to. Gonna say we'll leave the show and let you just crack on with it.
We'll just concur back at each other, back and forth.
No, but I just it's because, like I said, I've memorized a lot of this shit because I didn't even need to see this movie, but it's just like when he just says, look, he's like all I wish is for you to sit and talk with me. He's like, and she's like, sit. He's like, and she looks at the chairs like, here, and he goes, yes, I prefer to stand. Sit, and he says, sit. He yells, sit. And then he looks down and she gets all scared. Yeah, and then he says, or stand as you wish. It is enough.
Wait. What? It's just like that scene from Beauty and the Beast where the Beast gets angry and then he tries to correct himself and be all nice and happy right afterwards. He's all like real angry and then he's all like real nice and proper right afterwards. He's like, sit or stand.
Yeah.
If it pleases you.
Wish. Yeah. And he says, or stand as you wish. It is enough that we are alone together, just the two of us. Just simple conversation. Just simple conversation. And it's like, yeah, dude, like it's just like okay, well, at that point now we'll pass it to somebody else, man. Now we're at the point where they already talk and they're wait.
She's very resistant to him at the beginning.
Yeah, like as we keep going, he keeps on trying to seduce her more and more. He actually tries to have her drink from a glass, and he actually fills it with his mind. He tries to have her eat a black apple as well. Everything of his is, black because he's dark as darkness, and she refuses all of his advances. So everything he's trying to do is she just completely against it. And the anger he gets, then he hears the unicorn starting to neigh in the distance, and then she says, "I hear something's throat wishing to be cut. Does the sound of blood wishing to be spilled tease you?" I'm going to start at Sentry. Go ahead.
He's like, yeah, it's like he says like, I hear a throat begging to be cut, and she's
Thank
like,
you.
and then Darkness is like, are you so anxious to see blood flow? And then she says, as you are to drink it. And he says, grant your bride one wish for this night. And he said, and then he says, hey, you have but to ask. And he says, I will stay here with you as you wish, on one condition. He's like, anything. And then that's when she says, I want to kill the unicorn. And this is where we have the famous.
1 second.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But don't forget, Jack is over listening the conversation.
Yeah.
So before we continue,
Look at Matt's eyes. I can't resist.
but before we continue, she has agreed to be, to marry Darkness. And she says, I will marry you on one condition, allow me to be the one that slits the unicorn's throat, which leads us to this magnificent moment.
Yeah. Iconic moment, man. Like, that's why I saved it for you, Kevin. Saved it for you, Kevin.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, Matt, since your eyes are still bulging out of your head, would you like to continue?
I think
I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back.
I think Anubis has sat kind of quiet this whole time. Let's give him a little workout.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay, Kevin, you take it away.
So obviously she agrees to marry him, and Jack is absolutely devastated at the news, and he wants to save the unicorn. He suddenly realizes, because he is called Darkness, and he puts two and two together, he realizes that to defeat Darkness, he can be killed by light. So he devises a plan to put together like this makeshift mirror system using the giant trays from the kitchen of the Goblin, basement around different locations to attract the sunlight as it rises, to go against, Darkness. So as they're setting this up, he's planning, to use those to attract the sunlight, but he also realizes that there is another weakness. He can use the horn from the unicorn that had its horn severed to tackle and take down Darkness. So as they are preparing the marriage and they're setting up the ceremony and the ritual, and they're talking in their dialect all about what is about to happen, Lily is there with the blade ready to sever the mare's throat, when all of a sudden, instead of sacrificing the mare for her new husband to be, she cuts the chain for the mare, and the mare flees. Darkness is enraged and knocks Lily to the ground, which then you hear Jack shout out loud. Darkness turns and sees Jack and is so enraged he charges at him, and a battle consumes between Darkness and Jack. As the battle is happening, Jack finally gets like the upper hand and stabs Darkness with the horn of the unicorn. When this happens, it happens at the exact same time as the light from the sunrise hits the plates that are all around, and just in the nick of time, because as we know, the dwarfs are fucking useless. They literally fell asleep at the top of the castle as the sun was rising, which literally they nearly cost Jack his life. But the light thing went up and woke him up. And next thing you know, boom, you have that amazing scene of Darkness, who's like hanging on the side of like this fire the fire and the wind and the air, and you get sucked through like this. Well, I felt like it was like a portal, and you just see him fall into the pot, and you see like right at the end a tiny little ding.
Yeah. He was anime before anime was like big. Yeah, he did the anime explosion before. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, what's your opinions of the final conflict, Matt?
It was good. The sword fight was fun. There was a scene where you can tell that it was a prop head that they were using. They couldn't use the full on, the mouth and everything they were using, like the prop head. They could do easier choreography. I love the scene when, just back up a little bit. When Lily is about to do the strike, Gump is actually telling Jack to kill Lily because he's afraid that that Lily's going to kill the unicorn. He said, "She's gone, Jack. You have to do it." And he's like, "No, I believe her. I trust her. And then he's got it. He's like, "I believe you. I believe in you." And then she sets it free. So he believed in love and everything. So love conquered all in the end. And that's, so blah, blah, blah. So then when he comes in and then the fight, and he starts firing arrows at, Darkness, and none of it was happening. And I love how Dark is like, "What have we here? Little boy." Which, okay, well, that was just fun. Also, the fighting area. And then the previous horn from the stallion actually falls into a little bit of lava. Okay, it's not actually lava. Anyway. And you think, like, okay, you stick your hand in there, you're going to pull back a skeleton's hand or pull back nothing. Well, actually, it's not really explained, but I'd like to think that by putting your hand in there, and because he was true of heart, it actually, protected him from actually going in to actually get the unicorn's horn. And that's when he stabbed him in the stomach, and then just the whole light and everything was just awesome.
Well, how I looked at it, because he's a child of the forest. He comes from the light.
Mm-hmm.
He's got light in his heart. He's like a being of light, and light can conquer darkness.
Right.
So I assumed that is why the lava didn't hurt him or affect him. Also, I think even if he stuck his hand right in the lava, but he had his hand immediately on the unicorn horn, because the unicorn's this magical element of an animal. Soon as he had it in his hand, it protected him from any pain or danger.
So then the light hits Darkness, and he's like, "Father, protect me!" And then he gets blasted to the exit area where again, Darkness exists both in our world, and he can exist in like another world as well, because that's pretty much like outer space, pretty much, but it's in our world.
Into the void. It's like a void. He gets sucked into the void.
Yeah, so the light is actually blasting him out into this void, and he gives us a chilling, goodbye, pretty much. He's like, "What is light without darkness? We are brothers. I am a part of you all." So it's like, is he really gone? Are you really defeating him? Well, then Jack then cuts his hand off, and he goes flying away then. And then he does drop the horn first. So it's like you think that the horn's still in his belly, but no, the horn falls out, which good, because that'd suck if he got blown out to the void and saw the horn in his belly. But, great ending. Then he pops then. So then happy ending, and just great stuff. Great finale.
Well, and then, of course, what happens, you have the elf Gump goes out when it's still kind of snowing and covered in darkness and ice. He then obviously gives the stallion his horn back, reinsert. Soon as that happens, the stallion is suddenly awakened, in winter, within a matter of seconds, fades away. The darkness fades away. Something we never mentioned, Lily lost her ring in the river or the pond, and she is still under darkness's spell. But Jack finds the ring and places it onto Lily's finger, and she is then awakened from darkness's spell. The last scene of the movie is them walking or running away together, and all the forest animals waving them goodbye as they go off. Is that not what happens?
Not in mine.
Yeah, it's quite different than the director's cut.
That's why I think it's so funny, because you're not gonna like my rating because I can only go by what I saw. So like I have to see this other version because what you saw makes far better sense than what I saw.
Yeah.
So well, what happened? Well, the version I see, I didn't even know there was another version.
Yeah, that makes two of us. I didn't either. And I would think that if I see the director's cut, you think that's all like just added shit above what they already had, but
well, you see, I think the version I got, I don't even think they call it director's cut. I just think it's like, you see, maybe the Universal UK cut, but this version is on Plex though, in the UK that I watch. So at the end, basically, they go away in the basically they're kind of holding hands going away, and as they're walking away in this like the sunshine, you've got all the animals together and all of like not the goblins, the like the dwarfs and Gump, and they're like waving them off into the distance as they kind of leave to like live a happy ever after.
Yeah,
that's the version I seen.
Yeah.
So what's the version?
That's the one with the.
So what's the alternated version? Because if that's the version I've seen, what's the version you've seen?
The version I had or saw was so once Jack has the ring, he puts it on her finger, and then there's like this short moment where she supposedly, it says, whoever can get this ring, well, I will marry them. That's sort of the promise that she will make. But she tells Jack that because they come from two separate worlds, that they can't be together like that. But she is his friend and still wants to come back to the forest the next day. And he's like, yeah, you can come here anytime. I'll be here for you. And then she goes and does her thing, and then all we see the sunset is he's running, celebrating while the fairies are celebrating him, but he's by himself.
Yeah, it's kind of a downer. It's a
real, and that's why when I look at it, I say to myself, what a fucking bitch!
It's a downer. It's a downer. It's a real downer.
Well, that would make her like just a complete spoiled princessy bitch, obviously.
Yes.
He went to hell and back to save you, and then you just fuck off and go, I'm going to marry some rich prince dude. You stay in the forest, and when I need a quick shag or a chat, I'll come and visit you in the forest. What a load of bollocks.
Yeah.
I had enough of the forest boy and all of this magic stuff. I'm going back to reality. So I'll stick at the high court and live a nice fancy schmancy life while I'll keep homeboy to his rugged style of living in the forest. Like,
right.
Yeah, that's the one that we watched, like the one that we're talking about. That's the one with Tangerine Dream, and it's totally different, man. And it's
I've just assumed that the one I've always watched was the only cut. Now he's mentioned his cut, I'm never gonna watch it because it sounds fucking terrible.
Now, I will say though, like I said before, they keep darkness shrouded. No, not shrouded. They keep him in darkness. They, you don't see him. You just see his arm. So it's kind of like the shark from Jaws. Pretty much, they keep his reveal until halfway through the movie. And I think Anthony George said earlier in the film, it takes a while for that cut to get going. And that's right. And then when you finally see darkness, like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, but like I said before, he's on the cover of the movie, so you know exactly what he looks like. So there's no real big reveal of what he is. So it's like, we know what the shark looks like for Jaws, but then again, we don't see the shark in Jaws until much later in the film as well. But it's essentially the same. It's the same thing in this, and it's like, and like again, other scenes are done differently, and again, totally different ending. It's like huge downer. It's like, ouch, just ouch, just
very ouch, babe, very ouch.
Yeah, harsh.
Yeah, like Anubis, when you get a chance to watch the Tangerine Dream version, the theatrical version, man, you're gonna be like, what the hell did I just? Why did I watch the director's
it
cut
sounds like
when I
it's
could have
just
watched this
worlds
one.
better than what I watched. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't that what I watched was necessarily horrible. It's just like I'm going through it and I'm like,
Well, when you do
And
see
then
that
ending,
version,
I'm like, fuck that bitch.
yeah, when you do see that version, you're gonna be like this. You're gonna be like, that will
And
be
then-
your reaction.
That part.
And then maybe I'll be like them where this white shit starts shooting up in the air, you know?
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, then again, I don't know how you get your rocks off.
I don't know. From where I was sitting, you guys were having a ball down there, like in that little
Like, oh,
section.
you could end up like this.
No, it's just it's because it's just it's just trips me out, man. It trips me out, man.
Mhm.
That like I thought you had seen the theatrical version, and I'm like,
Mm.
no, man, yeah, you don't know what you're missing, bro. Like I said, we're back to freaking dog soldiers, bro. What the hell, bro?
I
Like,
just
it's
had
like-
my
it's like-
dog
it's like I-
soldiers moment. You can put that on recording. I just had my dog soldiers moment.
They should only
Right.
play the
Like,
We're
theatrical.
gonna have
version.
to we're gonna have to clip that.
Yeah.
They should only play the theatrical version, and you should have to go out and hunt down the UK version. Just my opinion. Okay, you have to be able to go out and try harder to get the other version. The theatrical version.
I may just have to buy it because
Yeah,
I
Or
don't
that,
know
there you go.
how to
There you
film
go.
it, you know.
Mm. So, Matt, I'll give you overall thoughts and your rating of this film as I go let me cat out the door.
Okay. I've been giving out a lot of 10s lately. And this is no exception. Okay, this movie's a 10. I love this movie. I don't want to talk about the director's cut. That movie, I don't want to talk about it. Okay, I saw it a long time ago, and I just no. Like, I thought that was a gimmick. I'm like, I'm watching it, and like halfway through, I'm like, what the hell is this? And I turned it off. And I put the theatrical version back on. I thought it was a nice gimmick to put along with it. It's like the E.T. director's cut, where they took the shotguns out, but walkie-talkies. It's like, no, okay. Except that I think this is actually worse than that, okay. But and no offense to anyone that worked on the the director's cut. Okay, I'm not no smoke, or if that's the phrase nowadays. Whoever worked on that version of it, but the theatrical cut, that's a 10, and I would say a 7 for the director's cut. There.
Sci-fi.
Man, this is gonna be a rough one. It's gonna be a tough one. I give it an 11.
Yeah, I knew he was going to do
Okay.
that.
Oh,
I
you
knew
broke
he
the
was gonna do
scale.
I give it
And-
an 11, and to be honest, there's a director's cut.
that. Yeah, there is.
There's an actual
coy.
director's cut. Like, I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
Anubis just said that, and Anubis just said that he saw a director's cut. Like, which movie were you watching, Anubis? And
not the right one.
I mean, like I said before, I tried putting on the director's cut. I was 15 minutes in, turned it off, put back the theatrical. I was like, I am not watching that garbage. I mean, it's not garbage because Mia Sara's in it, but I can't even rate it. Like, the theatrical version though, with Tangerine Dream, all the best type of emotional, physical, spiritual views of it. It's an 11. It's an 11 for me, man, and I love it. Go ahead, Kevin.
No, I love this movie. It's one of me. I love dark fantasy. I love, I love like being taken away to a fantasy world. Anything like this.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter can
What?
suck my dick.
What?
But anyway, J.K. Rowling, you cannot suck my dick. Anyway, the legend, I think Ridley Scott did a fantastic job with this. I think just the world he created back in 1985, using practical effects, great, amazing visuals, great cinematography, the work and the effort that was put in to make this movie just outstanding. So I'm probably going to give this 9 out of 10 because that's how much I like this movie. So here we go, Mr. DJ Anubis, for the cut scene.
I can't comment on the good version of the film, so I can't give any rating that. But I will agree with Gojira that the director's cut I was going to give that a 7 out of 10. It's a fine movie, but I hated that ending, and I thought, this is garbage. Like, why the fuck does people like this ending? I hate this fucking ending.
Yeah.
Makes no fucking sense. But yeah, outside that, like, apparently though, at one point, either Jim Carrey or Johnny Depp or Robert Downey Jr. were also up to play the role of Jack. So I'm kind of curious how Depp might have done it. But I can't really slight Tom Cruise that much. I mean, he had the pretty boy look and he fits in the role fine, but it was just, once you've gotten used to Tom Cruise in other films, it's like you'd look at him in a fantasy film, you're like, I don't see it. I don't understand why they casted him, but he's there. And so, but this is a cult film. People really love it. Tim Curry is great as always. He's always going to nail it out of the park. Mm-hmm. So until I see the other version, the one version I saw is like a 7 out of 10. But it sounds like
still a good rating.
Yeah. So, but for all the things that you described about the theatrical, it sounds like way better than this. So.
Mm-hmm. So yes, well, Matt Gojira 851, thank you for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure. It's lovely to see you have a geekgasm. As always, the same with Sentry having a geekgasm.
Thank you for having me.
All around. Just to give you a heads up on what is coming to the entertainment headquarters next week, because I'm going to have a couple of days rest since I've done 3 12-hour shifts that were from hell at work and I need a break. I'm going to have some chill time. But coming next week, me and my good pal here, Mr. DJ Anubis, my partner in crime, my co-host, we have our next cinematic synergy coming on Tuesday, and it's going to be the movie Mimic. Ooh. So that's the first thing that is coming on Tuesday, but at 10 p.m. UK time, and whatever the hell time that is where Mr. Sci-Fi Sentry is, it's going to be him and me going live to do the next installment of my new show, Education. And we're going to be talking about Spawn. Spawny. And then the next one after that, I believe Mr. DJ Anubis is going to be teaching me all about heavy metal. And speaking of DJ Anubis, have you decided on the next pick for Retro Classic Movie Show?
I think I have. What did I look at here? Yes. I think you and I are going to go back and we're going to revisit Reign of Fire.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh, another good one.
Great one. Another underrated champ.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But anyway, what is coming to your guys' represented channel? So, Mr. DJ Anubis.
I haven't really put too much into next week, but tomorrow, Mr. Tony the Dead and I at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's probably just going to be a recording, but we're going to sit down with another Ghouls at Midnight with his pick of Dream Scenarios starring Nicolas Cage, which I've never seen. So this will be interesting.
I don't think I have either.
And then next week, as you said, you and I were getting together. I think Anthony Jordan's going to be joining us for the Mimic review as well.
Mhm.
If any of the two guys down below want to join us, they're free to do it if they're available. Outside, I haven't really scheduled anything else. I might try to get a hold of the professor if he's around and try to do his Kaiju Spotlight if I can at some point. But outside of that, all good.
I think one more from me. I think I forgot to mention I am going to be doing at some point. This is just me doing a recording. I'm going to do my top 10 Clint Eastwood movies.
Ooh.
So that's going to be my top 10. And this one I'm really looking forward to. I need to mention this one. I need to know who would like to do this one with me. I'm going to do this. Akira Kurosawa special. We're going to review 4 movies and it's going to be a lot of fun.
I think I've seen only 2 of those.
So I've really been getting into my samurai movies as of late, or those movies. Like I say, I did the review earlier of the Eye for an Eye, The Blind Swordsman earlier with that fat samurai guy. If you've not checked their movies out, I do recommend them. Please check that review out on the channel. But that's what's coming to me in the future. Matt, is there anything coming on your channel?
I just bought the Hiya Toys Godzilla 2014. Waiting for that to be shipped. I have the X Plus Godzilla 1995 Rebirth, the new version of it. Waiting for that one to be announced for its shipment.
Is that the Awakening version?
Yeah, the Awakening version. Yep, I have that one.
Godzilla Jr., isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. I love that film and I love that scene, and pretty much I'm a sucker for that. Whenever that's done. I'm looking into these new Spiral Studios figures. Just like I woke up one morning and you sent me a couple of pictures. Like they announced like 10 different Spiral Studio figures. Like 3 of them were all King Kong ones, or I'm sorry, Kong. We can't call him King Kong, but 3 of them were Kong, where he's swinging Suko around. He has the power glove and he has the axe. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to get any of those and which one to get. I'm kind of leaning towards the axe, but then again, the power glove. But then again, I like the scene where he's using Suko as nunchucks. So I guess those are good problems because I want to put it with the Godzilla from earlier as well.
Yeah, the Beast Glove.
The Beast Glove, not the power glove. Okay,
that's the one I'm getting.
Are you getting the Beast Glove? Okay. I'm thinking about doing maybe another film review. I want to do Zarkor the Invader. It's a very, 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 very low budget monster movie. It was made by Monster Island Productions. They didn't last for very long. They only made, I think, 3 movies, including that movie, Crawl the Sea Monster, and one other. I have both of those movies. I don't know what the other one is, but they're very silly, very small movies. But, we can talk about that later. But, yeah, that's all I got really going on right now.
Sci-fi?
I already got with Anubis, and I'm going to let him take care of when he wants to schedule Event Horizon for the end of the month, or if we have to, depending on when his schedule is. And we're pretty much just, it's a Sci-Fi Society collective live stream. We're gonna, I'll be a co-host or on that. And I already sent him thumbnail. I already sent him some video, so he can he can add some sass to all of that, and add to his thing, and I'll let him take care as far as when he wants to schedule it for everyone, because I want Kevin on there, I want Gojira on there, I want the professor on there, I want everyone on there.
I would say
because I can't
right now. You guys can let me know the last week of April, like if you're available any day, anytime. I'm just trying to find out like who's available when.
I think if I can't make that, I'm sure I've got the first week of May off.
That's fine too. We can work with those 2 weeks. It's not a problem.
Any day in that week, I'm good. So just but I think I'm working the last week of April, most weeks. So
we'll look at
days.
the first week of May then.
Yeah, I'll look at my schedule and my wrap up, and I'll let you know more.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I want to get more into a little bit of a nature type of survival type of like raw type of film to change things up just for for the beginning of 2025. And I want to do for the Sci-Fi Society. It's going to be probably a little bit maybe after Horizon, and I want to do The Bear, the 1980 movie The Bear. Yeah. I want to do that. I don't know if you guys seen it. It's a really good film. I like the nature aspect of it. Not too much talking, not too much. It's more about nature and how grueling, how punishing, how unforgiving it is. And I want to do something like it just to change it up because that's also a movie I really love. And then like after that I'll start. Yeah, there you go. And like just something that from my childhood that I want to talk about. And then down the line I already have some thumbnails for some other movies I want to do probably towards the end of the year, but those I'll post on the Sci-Fi Society probably either later today or tomorrow, just to give a heads up what I want to do down the line. But I'm still gonna try to stick to at least one to maybe, depending on how I feel, 1 to 2 live streams a month. So that's all I got. And I got, well, with you, Spawn, I got gonna educate Kevin on Spawn, and I'm really looking forward to that one. And that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, well, as always, gentlemen, it has been nothing but a blast. Yes, we had some technical difficulties at the beginning because YouTube fucking hates my guts. Doesn't like me when I do lives, so it tries to ruin my life. But guess what, bitch? I come out on top. And I did today.
Yeah.
So anyway, with that said, for everybody that's watched, thank you so much. It's been a blast. Like we said, DJ Anubis has announced that the next retro classic movie show will be Reign of Fire with Christian Bale. So can't wait to check that one out. And I've put all these guys' links in the description box below. So please go out and check their channels for some amazing content. This has been the Entertainment Headquarters, and this has been the Retro Classic Movie Show. We'll catch us all at the next one.